Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsyreplays. Welcome back to the channel. Now, we've had a look at the Titan tanks. We've had a look at what I think is the best and whether they are worth trying to get. So next up, we have the Defenders. So you can get your hands on the Defender tanks in this draw, and I wouldn't recommend doing it because, you know, the draws, yeah, you can guarantee that one of the tanks at the end, but you can spend a lot of money. So there are quite a few Defender tanks in the game. Now, the Defender tanks were originally from the IS-3 Defender. So the IS-3 Defender here was the first of its kind, and when it was first released, it was completely OP. Like, no one knew how to deal with it because it was just an IS-3 but an auto loader, and it looked great. Like, it really did look great. Then over time, obviously Wargaming then added the T-28 Defender, and then so on and so on, and then they wanted to sort of mix it up a bit. So just instead of adding Defender tanks, they then introduced the Titan tanks. Personally, I would have just preferred keep going with the Defenders because I do think the Defenders look great. Honestly, I love the look of the Defenders. Now, of course, there are a couple of low tier tanks. You've got some tier 5, a tier 7, you've got tier 8s, and a tier 6, of course. So most of the Defenders, I mean, there's a couple that are okay. There's the Churchill W isn't fantastic. No Churchill really is fantastic, but there is a couple of the Defenders that are actually all right, to be fair. And the Carnarvon Defender here, for me, was the biggest letdown because the Carnarvon is a great tank. The Action X is a great tank. And then when they were releasing the Carnarvon Defender, I had real high hopes for this tank, like real high hopes. So I got the tank, and then I was actually left a little bit disappointed. But, you know, it is what it is. So what is the best Defender tank out there? Now, there is still one out there that is a really good tank. Now, again, people may not agree, but honestly, I think there is one Defender that just sits above the rest of them, and of course that is the Defender Mark 1. I love this tank. Honestly, it is a 4-shot auto loader. So as soon as we find it, we will look at the stats and then get into a live game. You know, I'm gonna record this. I've recorded the whole lot just because I wanted the initial battle. You know, I didn't want to just go out there try and get an OP game just so you guys can see how good it is. I just wanted, as I'm talking about the tank, just one quick battle just to see how I get on and how the tank itself gets on. Not really how I get on, but how the tank. So stat wise, let's look at the stats. Of course, the stats are not going to be fantastic. It is a Defender, it is an auto loader, so they're not going to be great. So your turret is 254 millimeters, so a very strong turret actually, but your hull is just 76. So your hull, yes, you're going to get penetrated all day long, however your turret is very strong. Your DPM is 2045 for a tier 8 autoloader. I don't think that is too bad, and that is a 16.3 magazine reload. So yes, it is a long reload on your magazine, but your shell reload time is 2 seconds in between each shell, and you've got 4 shells. Your penetration is 244 on your AP, 271 on your APCR, and 45 on your HE. Of course, you don't have a higher alpha, just 190 alpha. So yeah, your alpha, of course, isn't high at all. So with your 4 shells, I would strongly recommend to try and penetrate every single one of them. So your aim time 2.7, 0.26 with your dispersion with the refined gun. You have 10 degrees of gun depression with a top speed of 46 kilometers per hour. So yeah, stat wise, it is just an average tank. Like, it is just an average tank. But honestly, those are you that haven't been around since the start. When the IS-3 Defender was first released, honestly, it was a tank that everybody wanted, everybody. And the fact that they was giving it away for free back then, like, I think I can't remember what it was. It was the top 500 or something like that, when it was some kind of event where it was either 50 or 500. I really can't remember. It was so long ago. That was able to get the tank for free. I don't know if it was, I think it was in terms of damage. I really can't remember, honestly. I'm sure someone in the comments will tell us just how we got the Defender, IS3 Defender for free. And that is literally like, you run double IS3 Defenders back in the day. Oh my God, it was so much fun. So here we are in the game. Now, if you're in a hold down position, then, I mean, just look at the Defender Mark 1 on the enemy team. Look at the hull, very weak hull. However, that turret is very, very strong. Now, just like most tanks out there, if you're just sitting still, you're going to make it easy for the enemy to penetrate that turret. It is a very strong turret, but if you're sat still, then they will be able to aim at your weak points. So do bear that in mind. Just keep moving back, move forward, and try to make it difficult for the enemy team. Now, this push that we are now doing, what a push from our team. I mean, I don't do the best amount of damage, but I thought I would still use it because it was a great team battle. It wasn't just a great battle for me, it was a great team battle. So here we have the 53 TP. Now, I knew he'd just taken the shot against the FV, so I thought, you know what, now's the perfect time to release all 4 shells, penetrate all 4 shells, and then back up for my 16.3 second reload. So I would always recommend that. Now, I am actually going to mess up very, very soon. So this SU here, he's not actually AFK, but I thought, you know what, I'm just going to, he's an easy target. I've reloaded all 4 shells, so let's get all 4 shells out into him. Well, we've got 1 shell left, and I went for the reload. I probably could have got a shot on that Object 27A, but, you know, I didn't risk it. I wanted to go for the reload, and this is where I mess up, because the convoy's here. I knew that I could take a shot from the convoy, but I didn't know the WZ was there. So yeah, that really, really annoyed me, because I could have got all 4 shells out against that convoy and just up my damage a little bit more. You know, I didn't do the best of damages anyway. But, you know, I knew we was going to win the game. I didn't care if I died or not. I just wanted to get to that convoy and get 4 shells into him. But sadly, it wasn't to be. But overall, you know, just shy of 2k damage, nothing special. But a team game, that was a very, very good team effort. I mean, look, 5 of us on just over 1,000, and then there's 2 just shy of 1,000. So, you know, a very, very good team game there. So this is what I think is the best Defender in the game, the Defender Mark 1. So let me know what you think is the best Defender. Now, again, there are a couple of good Defenders. It's not that they're all shit. Like, there is a couple of good Defenders, but the Defender Mark 1 is definitely the best. But for me, the best looking is that TSL7 Defender. I think this tank right here looks an absolute beast, and some may even say that this is probably the better Defender, but I still think the Defender Mark 1 is the best, but the TSL is definitely the best looking Defender. Let me know in the comments below. But for now, hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm meadsy69, and I will catch you all soon. Bye bye.